Third installment of Beatles songs, albums ranked series. Let's go. A Hard Day's Night. A really good album. Not as good as Please Please Me, but it's their third album, and it is their most refined to date, and it's very consistent too. The one song I don't enjoy on it really, though, is When I Get Home, which is number 13. It kind of sounds grating, to be honest. There are good things about the song, but ultimately it's just super grating, and I really do not like that. Number 12 is I'll Cry Instead. It is a good song, but it's just not a great one. Number 11 is I Should Have Known Better. Basically the same way I feel about I'll Cry Instead. Number 10 is Things We Said Today. It's not great melodically, but I do like when Paul writes songs like this, so it's kind of appreciated. And there's some good harmonies in it too. Number 9 is Anytime at All. It's not memorable really, but it is a super good song, and I like it a lot. Number 8 is Can't Buy Me Love, one of the most popular early Beatles songs. It's not one of my personal favorites, but it is a great song, and I understand why it's liked. Number 7 is You Can't Do That. I really like it. It has a cowbell in it. Cowbells are always fun, and You Can't Do That has a really good cowbell in it. Number 6 is And I Love Her. This song is often paired with another song on this album that is kind of similar atmospherically and in terms of subject matter, especially because those two were paired as an A-side, B-side single. And I Love Her is easily the inferior of those two songs, in my opinion, but it is still really good. And Paul McCartney is good at crooning, like I said about Till There Was You in the With the Beatles review, and about P.S. I Love You in the Please Please Me review. Number 5 is A Hard Day's Night. Most people would have this at number 1. It's on number 1 on basically every ranking I've seen. But it's kind of like I Saw Her Standing There from Please Please Me, where I just like every song above it more. That's not to say that this song isn't incredible, though. Obviously, the opening chord that everyone knows, begins the song kind of like on a scary note, because it just kind of like hits you. And there's a very frantic feel to the song, and I really like it for that. And even though John Lennon was supposed to sing this whole song, Paul McCartney sang the bridge on it, the When I'm Home, Everything Seems to Be Right part, and I actually think that it's better for that, because it reminds you that the Beatles are a group, and not just a bunch of solo projects coming together to write their songs and doing things with them. The song ends really well too. It's like an arpeggiated version of the opening chord. And even without listening to this album, this sounds like the even without watching the movie, this song sounds like the opening song of a movie. And that kind of applies to this whole album too. It feels like its own theatrical experience. Number 4 is Tell Me Why. There's a weird falsetto section towards the end of the song, and I don't really understand why it's there. But otherwise, this song is basically flawless. John Lennon said this was kind of like his attempt to write like the girl groups of the time, and he definitely pulled it off very well. And I can definitely see why he said that was the inspiration for the song. Number 3 is I'll Be Back. The best thing about this song is the chord progression. There was a name for this. I saw it on Wikipedia once, but I forget what it's called. It's like taken from flamenco music, I think. And John Lennon said that he borrowed the chord progression for this song from the chord progression for Runaway by Del Shannon, which is one of my favorite songs of the 60s. So, obviously, I'll Be Back gets some points for that. It also has really good songwriting. The only thing I don't love about it, though, is the alternating between major and minor chords in the song sounds a bit forced. Otherwise, this is basically a perfect song. Second best song on the album is I'm Happy Just to Dance With You. this song usually ranks low on these lists. But I really like it because it's kind of like a callback to Please Please Me in a way, with those like really, really simple, basic love songs. And the guitar pattern on this song is especially really good, like the do 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 do. The syncopated rhythm is very enjoyable, and I like it a lot. And also, I like George Harrison's voice. It was still in its robotic stage in this era, but I do really like George Harrison's voice, and it's just a sweet song overall. Number 1 is If I Fell. This was Kurt Cobain's favorite Beatles song, and I understand why. Because it's probably the best showcase of the John and Paul harmony vocal. It isn't a perfect song to me, because it is a bit slow, but yeah, the John and Paul harmony vocal is great. The lyrics are great. It starts basically perfectly. Like, it kind of starts in E flat minor, but then it transitions into D major, but it doesn't feel forced at all, unlike the chord switches in I'll Be Back. But overall, even though I love If I Fell, it's not as good as All My Loving or Please Please Me. Especially not Please Please Me, because Please Please Me is just... There's so many things that can be said about how incredible it is. But If I Fell is still an amazing song. And it's also the companion piece to And I Love Her that I mentioned earlier. A Hard Day's Night. Good album. Far from the Beatles' best, though. And actually, it's a great album, not a good album.